Hey guys, Josh here and welcome back to Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town, and today I will be covering everything you need to know about animals in this game. I've been seeing so many questions on this topic and hopefully this video will answer any questions you might have. We've really got a lot of stuff to cover today, but first of all we're gonna go over all of the different animals available in this game and how you can unlock them. Then we're gonna talk about breeding, how it works exactly, and how you can get the best animal products. After that we're gonna talk about the different personalities and what they mean. And we're gonna end this video with some various tips and tricks and other miscellaneous things related to animals that I think are important to know. But yeah, let's just get started. I'm gonna go to my chicken coop first and we're gonna talk about chickens. Alright, so this little white chicken right here is the very first animal you'll encounter in your game. It will appear in area 1, and to unlock it, you'll just have to repair the chicken coop that is on your farm. And then you'll just press A on the little chicken and you'll be able to adopt him. So it's quite easy and simple. So let's just go to the next one. The other type of chicken available in this game is the silky chicken. It's just basically a black and white version of the regular chicken. And this one lays brown eggs. So as you can see, these brown eggs right here, they are more valuable than the regular eggs. And also they're gonna make you 2 mayonnaise if you put them into the mayonnaise maker instead of just 1. You'll see them appear in area 3 of your farm, and you're gonna need to reach animal care level 3 in order to be able to tame them. Alright, so that's the only 2 chickens available in this game. They are the only animals that will be in the coop. So let's just now head to the barn. Alright, so the first one right here is the cow. This is the regular cow. You'll see this one in area 2 of your farm, and you'll be able to tame it right after repairing the barn. And it's gonna give you milk, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this cow. Then over here we have the brown cow. So this one will give you the exact same milk as this regular cow, so the only difference is really just the color. And you'll unlock this one in area 2 of your farm, and it only appears in fall. Alright, so here we have the black cow, and it seems to be a little bit camera shy. It's not showing its face, but you'll unlock the black cow when you reach level 9 of animal care. The day after, Patricia will come to your place and she will tell you that there are some unusual animals now available at this shop. So that's how you unlock the black cow, and as you can see, it's very cute, but it gives you the same exact milk as the regular cow and the brown cow. So it's really up to you depending on what color you prefer. I like to have at least one of each, but they're all doing the same thing. Let me know which one is your favorite. For me, I think the brown cow is the cutest, but let me know in the comments. And the next animal I would like to talk about is the buffalo. So this is the buffalo, and this is a little baby buffalo. But the buffalo will give you buffalo milk, so it's different from the cow milk. It is more valuable, and if you put the buffalo milk in the cheese maker, you're gonna get 2 cheeses instead of just 1. So they're pretty good for that. So you'll see your first buffalo in winter in area 2 of your farm, and you need to get to animal care level 3 before you're able to tame them. And over here we have the goat, probably one of my favorite animals in this game. Sometimes it just hops around and it's just super cute. But yeah, the goat will give you goat milk, and the goat milk is good to make butter. So 1 milk will give you 2 butters. So your first goat will appear in autumn in area 2 of your farm. Alright, so next we have the alpine goat, and it does pretty much the same as the regular goat. So it just gives you goat milk, and you'll find this one in autumn as well in area 3 of your farm. But before you're able to tame it, you'll need to reach animal care level 5. So please let me know which goat you think is the cutest. And that's pretty much it for all of our milk animals. So let me head to the last barn. Alright, so let's continue with this sheep. So this sheep, you'll find it in area 1 of your farm in summer, and it gives you just regular sheep wool. Alright, so next we have the Suffolk sheep. This one you'll see it in winter in area 3 of your farm, and you need to have reached animal care level 7 before you're able to tame them. And also, even though they look very similar to the regular sheep, they actually give you a different wool. Actually, all of the wool animals give you different products, so it's important you have at least one of each in order to be able to craft everything in the game and get the different clothing options. Alright, now I'd like to talk about the alpaca, also definitely one of the cutest animals in this game. You'll see your first alpaca in area 3 of your farm, and it appears in every season, so no matter when you get to unlock area 3, you'll see an alpaca there. And of course, it gives you some alpaca wool. And then right next to it, we have the brown alpaca. So this one, you'll see it in spring in area 3 of your farm, and you need to have reached animal care level 7. So most likely this one, you'll see it in spring of the 2nd year, and it gives you some brown alpaca wool. Alright, so now we're gonna talk about rabbits. Also very cute. In Mineral Town, they used to be living with the chickens in the coop, but in Olive Town, they're just living in the barn with all of the other big animals. But anyway, you'll see your first rabbit in autumn in area 3 of your farm. Then we have the gray rabbit. This one you'll sit in winter in area 3 of your farm. And just like the brown alpaca, you'll need to have reached animal care level 7 before you're able to tame them. And last but not least, definitely another very cute animal is the pink rabbit. So this one works the same way as the black cow, so you need to reach animal care level 9 and then it will become available at the shop. And of course it gives you pink rabbit wool that is needed for some clothing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all of the animals available in the game and how you can unlock them. If you have any questions about that so far, feel free to let me know in the comments. But now we're going to talk about how you can buy and breed animals. So after you've tamed a wild animal for the first time, it will then become available at the shop. And as you can see, like the cows right here, even though the brown cows and the black cows are giving you the exact same thing as the regular cow, they're just so much more expensive. And even though it could be a good idea to buy a few animals early in the game when you don't have breeding yet, once you're able to breed your animals, I really do not recommend you buy them because they will always be first generation. And first generation's animals are stuck with a maximum of 3-star product, so it's really not the best and it's gonna take you a long time before you can really start making some money. Whereas if you breed your animals, as you can see with the little green medal, that is the generation. So this alpaca is 4th generation. I also have some 5th generation cow right here. And basically the further down you go with the generations, the higher the maximum quality product will be. So this 5th generation cow right now is giving me 8-star milk. So by generation 7, I should be able to get 10-star milk. So that's why it's really important to breed your animals instead of buying them. So you'll unlock breeding when you reach level 5 in animal care. The animal you're looking to breed will need to have at least 8 points of friendship, which are the little hearts. However, usually it's not such a problem because when you breed your animals, the babies will start, as you can see, this one already has 5 hearts. So it's really not that difficult to get the 8 friendship points. Also, in order to breed your animals, they'll have to be in the big barn or the big chicken coop. So I recommend you upgrade these as soon as you can. And also you need to have at least 1 empty slot in your barn or your coop. And so let's breed some animal right now. We can breed this cow. Of course, you'll have to pay for it. And also, even if there's already a baby, you can still breed, and you can also breed 1 animal per barn. So since you can have up to 10 barns in this game, if you'd like, you could build 10 big barns and put 1 animal in each and just breed all your animals at once, and it's going to be super quick. Also, just keep in mind that you don't need 2 animals of the same type to breed. Even if you just have 1, you're gonna be able to breed them. And let's make a 5th generation alpaca. And all of the animals have a different amount of days before they will give birth. Also a specific amount of days before they can grow up to become an adult. Oh, and also of course they need to be an adult before you can breed them. I won't go over all of the dates, but I'll put a little chart right here so you can see which animal is the fastest to breed. Also, if you've ever played other Story of Seasons games before, one big difference you'll notice is in this one, when the animals are pregnant, they can still go out and they can still give you product. So even though the cow is pregnant, she's gonna give you milk. So there really is no disadvantage to breeding your animals. And also another interesting difference is that this time you cannot just put a chicken egg in the incubator to get an extra chicken. There's going to be an incubator in the big chicken coop, but you still have to go to the animal store if you want to breed your chickens. Also, since you need to have at least 1 empty slot in your barn or your coop, sometimes you'll end up with something like this where it's just full. So it's a good idea to get rid of some of the first generation animals. However, in this game, there's no option to sell your animal at the store. You're gonna have to go to the Sprite village, and if you talk to the boss Sprite, you're gonna be able to give away your animals. However, you don't get any money out of it. You're not gonna be able to see your animals ever again. They just disappear, but it's something you have to do if you want to get better generation animals. Also, I did mention earlier that you could have up to 10 barns and 10 chicken coops in this game, which means you could have up to 200 animals if you'd like. However, this is not something I would recommend, as you probably know already that time still passes even when you're inside a building. So if you're trying to take care of 200 animals in a day, even like 30 or 40 animals, you're really gonna just spend your whole days trying to take care of your animals and you're not even gonna make that much money. So for me, my setup that I have 1 big barn right here with my milk animals, 1 here for my wool animal, and I also have my chicken coop. And I already feel like it is definitely a lot of work, and after I'm done with breeding my animals, I think I'm just gonna keep 1 animal of each type, plus a few extra chickens. Also, some people have been asking me, what do you do with the small chicken coop and the small barn when you get the big ones? Honestly, you can just sell them. You're gonna get, I think, 2000 G, so it's not too much, but there's not much more you can do with it, so I would recommend just selling the small ones. And as I've said earlier, breeding your animals is important in order to get higher quality product. So you can get like 10-star milk, 10-star eggs. However, a lot of people are wondering what is the point of breeding like the wool animals, because there's no star level for the wools, right? They're all on the same level. If you check this wool right here, it's just a regular wool and there's no star. However, there is still a benefit to breeding them, because when you breed animals, you also get a higher chance of getting the plus product. So you can get wool plus, which is just so much more valuable and can also produce more yarn. So yeah, there is still definitely a point in breeding the wool animals as much as the milk animals. Alright, so now I would like to talk about personalities and what they mean, how they work, because it can be quite confusing at first, but in reality it's quite simple. So when you buy your animals, and if you look at your notes right here, you'll be able to see their personalities, and there's 6 different ones. So there's serious, friendly, cheerful, affectionate, gentle, and popular. And the main difference is it's just that certain personality types will get their friendship go up faster, or their happiness will go up faster or slower. So the big difference is just the rate at which the points will go up. So actually that's not something I would worry too much about, because when you take care of your animals, they will eventually all go up to 10 points in everything quite easily, usually like in like one season. However, one little extra interesting thing with the personality types is that some of them have different needs. So some of them will want to be brushed more often or talked to more often. And for the cheerful and popular ones, they'll be willing to give you extra products more often. So definitely if you get your hands on a popular animal, which is really, really rare, or even a cheerful one, they'll more often than not give you extra products. And how you can know if they give you extra products is by looking at this bubble. So right now you can see this cow. She's gonna give me some milk, but it's just gonna be 1 milk. So let's try it out. So yeah, I got 1 6-star milk. But this cow right here, as you can see, there's the little orange bars, and that means she's gonna give me more products today. So she just gave me 2 milk. So of course all the different personalities will sometimes give you extra milk, but for the cheerful and the popular one, more often than not, they will give you extra products. So of course you can choose the personality of your animals when you're at the store. However, when you breed them, it's completely random. So maybe I would just recommend, if you have to get rid of some of your animals, maybe try to hold on to the cheerful and popular ones before you get rid of them. But other than that, I really would not worry too much about personalities. Alright, so now let's talk about feeding your animals, and this sounds pretty straightforward and simple, but I think there's still a few things you can learn. So of course, if you want your animals to give you products, you're gonna have to feed them. If they don't have food, they're not gonna give you any products. All of the animals in this game eat fodder, so I know in previous Story of Seasons, usually chickens would eat something different, but now everyone eats the same thing. So you can buy fodder either from the general store or you can grow it. In my case, I always buy it from the general store, because the fodder in this game works like every other crop, so you have to water it every day and you have to harvest them one by one, and it is quite time consuming. So I'd rather use my time for something else, and I just buy it directly from the store. And when you reach level 6 in animal care, you'll be able to craft this automatic feeder. So this will take food automatically from your silo or silage. And every day at 9 AM, your animals will eat this automatically. Actually, let me show you. Alright, so it's now 8:52, and as you can see, it's 20 out of 20. So this is full. So let's just wait for it a few minutes. 8:59 and 13 out of 20. So just keep in mind that all of your animals will eat automatically at 9 AM if there is fodder available. Because there's another way to feed your animals, and it's just by letting them outside. So if they go out for at least 1 hour, they'll get some extra friendship and happiness, and of course they will also be able to eat. So even though you don't have any fodder or anything special outside, they will manage to eat. However, I used to always take care of my crops first, and then in the afternoon I would come and take them out. However, there's no point in that, especially if you have the automatic feeder, because they will have already eaten some fodder at 9 AM. So you've already wasted your fodder, right? So what I would recommend is you come here first thing in the morning before 9 and you take them out, so they're gonna eat whatever is outside. And if you do that, they're not gonna eat the fodder that's inside. And if you want to wake up before 9, you have to go to bed at least before midnight. So if you go to bed at midnight or after, you're going to wake up at 9. So it's already going to be too late. So another reason to go to bed early. Or if you know you often go to bed late and you want to take your animals out, maybe it's a good idea to maybe not even use the automatic feeder and just manage that by yourself. But yeah, that's really up to you. Of course, they're still going to get the extra friendship and happiness from being outside. However, as I said earlier, it's really easy to get to 10 points, and actually the friendship and happiness cannot decrease. So even later, like after you've taken their products, if they want to be brushed or they want to be talked to or anything, you can ignore this if you want. They're gonna stay very happy, they're gonna stay very friendly. However, especially at the beginning when you want to level up your animal care skills in order to unlock breeding, and of course as certain animals only appear like one season in the year and you need a certain animal care level in order to tame them, make sure you reach that level before that specific season. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, make sure you pet your animals, you take care of your animals to level up your animal care as quickly as you can. So now let's talk about the silo and silage. So when you unlock area 3, there's gonna be a silo like around here. And after repairing it, just like the beehive and the mushroom log, you're gonna be able to buy more from Nigel. And in the silo, I don't have the regular silo right now, but each silo will allow you to put 40 fodder in them. And of course, this is pretty useful when you have the automatic feeder. So the feeder will take food from the silos automatically. And from Nigel, you can also get this silage, which is the upgraded version of the silo. And what the silage does is you just put the regular fodder in there and it will convert it automatically to the deluxe fodder. Also, every silage has a capacity of 40 fodder and 40 deluxe fodder. But when you have multiple of them, as you can see, the inventory will kind of stack up. So now I can have up to 160. And every day, about 60% of that total capacity will be converted into deluxe fodder. So depending on how much you put, it's actually between 57.5 and 60%. But basically what you have to know is that after 2 days, all of your fodder will be transformed. So you'll have to fill it up again. So yeah, basically that's how the silo and silage works. So I always just use the deluxe fodder, and yeah, it converts everything in 2 days. So it's quite fast and I never run out. And as I said earlier in this video, growing fodder is kind of a pain in this game because you have to water it every day and it takes a long time to harvest. And when I started this farm, my idea was to grow fodder in front of my barn to make a cute little pasture like you used to have in Mineral Town. However, one problem with this game is that the animals will actually avoid walking on fodder and they will also avoid walking on paths. So I used to have like fodder here, but all of my animals would like spawn behind the barn and on the sides. And if you put paths, it's gonna be the same thing. So it's gonna look just super messy. I can show you actually, I'm just gonna go in and out so all of my animals are there. Alright, so that's how it looks now. So it's not too bad. It's still very crowded. I feel like I should make this area bigger, but let's put down some paths and see what happens. Also, from 6 p.m. you're not gonna be able to let your animals out. So if you didn't give them fodder and you were hoping to let them out during the evening, that's not going to be possible. And if they were already outside, they will go back in automatically at 7 p.m. So I'm just going to finish putting down these paths and I'm going to come back tomorrow morning. Okay, so for some reason I can't put paths here because there are some butterflies, but yeah, let's come back tomorrow. Alright, so we are back and our butterflies are still here, so I'm not going to be able to place paths here. Let's take our animals out and see what happens. So as you can see, well, it's still really crowded here because they don't have a choice to walk here, but instead of spawning here, all of my sheep and rabbit, they just spawn outside the fence because there's paths over there, so they're just gonna spawn right here. So it definitely does look a little bit weird if you want your animals to stay in the fence. So while it does sound like a good idea to place down some paths or fodder if you don't want grass and rocks and trees to grow in your pasture, just keep in mind that your animals might spawn in really weird places. And also like over here, like they get really stuck at the back there because they will really try to avoid walking on the path. So I'm really hoping this is something they can change in a patch. And also like you cannot really push the animals, or you can push them only very slowly. So maybe make your area a little bit bigger than mine. But yeah, if you don't want like this to happen, I would definitely recommend not putting down paths or fodder. And just for the sake of comparison, I've removed the path once again and all of my sheep are staying inside. They don't appear outside of my fence anymore. And yeah, so now that we've talked about that and we've talked about how important it is to feed your animals, I'm gonna show you guys what happens if you don't feed them. Alright, so let's call this day 0 of our experiment. So now all of my animals want to give me some products, but we're gonna remove their food, so they're not gonna eat today. I'm also gonna remove the automatic feeder, and we're gonna do the same thing here, like this, and like this, and I'm not gonna take any milk or anything. I'm just gonna go to bed and come back tomorrow. Alright, so it is now day 1 of not eating, and as you can see, even though all of their wool is grown, they're not letting me take them anymore. And it seems like they're still happy, they're still doing good, even though they don't want to give me any product. So let's just pet them and I'll give them some food again and see what happens. And unfortunately, since we're very busy today, we're not gonna give any food to our cows. Alright, so day 2, and since we gave food to our sheep yesterday, now they're all happy and back to normal, so everything is good for our sheep. However, things are different over here. It's really not going well. It seems like my animals are starting to get upset, so let's give them some food. And let's try to calm down all of our buffaloes. Alright, so our buffaloes seem to be doing fine right now, so let's come back tomorrow and see how things change. Alright, so it's now day 3, and even though everybody had the food yesterday, it seems like the animals that we didn't pet are very mad. However, our buffaloes are back to normal already. So for the next part of this experiment, let's try to calm down these regular cows and see what happens. So as you can see, their red angry face turned into this maybe sad purple face. And let's try to calm down maybe this brown cow as well, just so we try with different animals. And let's come back tomorrow. And keep in mind, everybody has food right now. Alright, so it is now day 4 after not eating, and as you can see, our cows are still a little bit sad, so they're not completely fine. And of course, everybody else is just super upset. Of course, our buffaloes are fine though. So let's try to console our sad cows, and hopefully tomorrow they're gonna be fine, but let's see what happens. And everybody else, even though they've been eating for like 3 days, they're still upset. Alright, so as you can see, our cows are now back to normal. They're all fine. I think I ran out of food for our buffaloes, but they're still fine. But the other animals are still super upset, so they're really not gonna go back to normal until 2 more days, right? So basically, if you don't feed your animals for 1 day, they're gonna be fine. They're just not gonna give you any product for the next day. However, if you don't feed them for 2 days, they're gonna get the little black scribble we saw earlier. And if you take care of the black scribble, they're gonna be back to normal the next day. But if you let it escalate, they will go back, they will get this little angry face, and then it will take 1 day to remove the angry face, and then they'll get the sad face, and it will take 1 more day to remove the sad face. So even though you pet them like 4 times in a row, it doesn't matter. So yeah, if you ever see a black scribble, make sure you get rid of this. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain what the different faces mean. Also, if you're ever wondering what is the yellow face and the orange face, it's just they want to be talked to. So with the yellow face, it's going to raise their happiness. And with the orange face that you see sometimes, it will raise their friendship. Also, one more thing I would like to show you, something I've been asked by a lot of people. But what happens if you remove your barn? So you're going to be able to reassign your animals right away if you pet them. You'll be able to reassign them to a different building, right? So there's no problem with that. You can just move your building safely. But what happens if you ever maybe just forget to reassign them, or maybe one of them runs away somewhere and you don't find it anymore? What happens? So let's go to bed and come back tomorrow. And so 1 day later, you'll see that the bubbles turn from blue to red. So this should give you some urgency that you really do need to give them a new home. And the day after, as you can see, unfortunately, all of our poor animals just vanished. They disappeared, and I just lost them forever. And the same thing can happen to your mounts. I think you really kind of have to go out of your way if you want to lose your animals. But yeah, don't leave them outside for a few days thinking they'll be fine. Also, most of you probably already know by now that if you process milk and eggs into mayonnaise, yogurt, cheese, and butter, you're gonna make a lot more money than if you just sell the milk and the eggs. However, the same thing can be said for the wool. So for example, the sheep wool right here, one of them I can sell for 243. But if I turn it into cloth, I'm gonna sell it for 977. The only thing to keep in mind is that I'm gonna have to make yarn with it, and then it's gonna take 2 yarns to make 1 cloth. But it's still like over 3 times the price, so it is still definitely worth it. It's just a little bit of extra work because you have to go through 2 different makers. But even if you just transform them once, you're still gonna make money. So for example, if we take our alpaca wool right here, it's 325. And the alpaca yarn is 595. So even if you just transform them once, you're gonna make quite a good profit. And as I said earlier, there's no star quality for the wool. It's just that if you have better animals, they're gonna get a better chance of giving you the plus version of the wool, which is a lot more valuable and also can produce more yarn. And also I want to check which one is the most valuable wool. So you would think it's probably the pink rabbit, but actually that's not the case. So let's check. So regular sheep 243, Suffolk sheep 364, alpaca 325, brown alpaca 487, rabbit 163, gray rabbit 195, and pink rabbit 283. So it's definitely the brown alpaca that's gonna give you the bigger profit, and the cloth is gonna give you 1,957, so it's almost 2,000 per cloth. So if I were to transform all of these, I would definitely get a lot of profit. But yeah, I definitely recommend keeping lots of cloths for making clothes. But if you want to sell them, definitely transform your wool first. And also just for fun, that's how much I would make if I was to sell everything, but I'm not selling it, I'm keeping it to make some clothes. So I've been hoarding these for quite some time right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Alright guys, so I think that's pretty much it. I think I've covered everything you need to know about animals in Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town. Let me know if you have any questions or if I forgot anything, and I'll try to reply to your comments as much as I can. Also, if you're interested in joining a little community filled with amazing and friendly people that like to talk about Story of Seasons, share tips and tricks, and answer questions, we have a Discord server. The link is in the description, so don't be shy and feel free to join us. It's always a lot of fun over there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.